Welcome to this week's video where 5 professionals are watching me pretend to know what I'm doing. It's good, no? Yeah? My name is Sam McCurchin and this is SCFSU's first flip. Behind me you can see we're almost halfway done with our concrete pour. We're halfway done with our pour, but we're only pouring 7 yards today, which is a complete change from the original foundation pour that we did on this job site, which was a total of 80 yards. 80, 75, something like that. But it was a crazy number. And looking at all this, I thought it'd be a lot more, but it's only 7 yards. The only thing that we're not doing today is the steps and right by the house because we have to go over a lot of the details there. We wanted to get the majority of this done so we can get our proof plaster started next week. Welcome back. We're pouring the second day of concrete. We're getting oral hardscapes finished. Eddie's at Home Depot because that's all he's good for. Let's jump into it. So this is our second truck. I think we might need one more. We just poured the back steps and whatever was remaining back there. As you guys saw in last week's video, which is up here somewhere, I forgot. We had an issue with the top cast. We have the right top cast this time. We're also gonna be sandblasting that to fix it so it's salvageable. We'll let you know what goes on with that. But we're finishing up everything else. We poured the entire back and now we're finishing up the front. We have amazing floating steps here that I'm gonna show you guys more of. But let's show you guys what we've been doing here. So I'm going to quickly explain to you guys what these floating / cantilever concrete steps are. By the time they get to me, as you can see, there's water and concrete coming. But we're using this to create a channel underneath the step where we're going to add our LED lighting. This channel is about 1/4 of an inch higher than the actual step, and it's 2x2. So we have about 3 inches on the bottom and 3 inches of step. You guys will get a better image of that once the concrete's finished. And then once everything else and all the electrical is in, you'll see a beautiful LED underlit pathway here. So let me show you guys some of this so you can see how they kind of put it together. We only put that channel in the front and didn't wrap it around based on our elevation. One of the things you want to take into account when doing steps is have the same elevation on every step. That's so that people don't trip and fall. Based on this step calculation, we kind of were off by a little bit, and you'll realize when we're done here that we have ended up having to do a flat 3 panels. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but when you guys see the finished product, you'll see we kept our staggered pattern going, and we kept the width the same, or the depth of the step, but we had to do a double step on the same plane because of the elevation. Now I gotta get out of their way so they can pour here. One of the other things you want to pay attention to is the size of your pads. Now we did pads with slits here. Originally the pattern had called out a 1 foot by 3 foot pad here on these corners, but we've maxed it out to 2 feet. Since cars are going to be coming here, you don't want to have really small pads. You want to keep them as large as possible while also having a beautiful design and flow. Our design is pretty close to what we did on our rendering for the driveway. The steps is a little bit different based on elevations. Make sure to follow us on Instagram because we posted our first rendering when we first started this project, so follow us there. I'm gonna jump in and make sure these guys are doing everything right because obviously I know more than them, right? As you guys can see, they're pulling up the rebar as they're pouring to get it centered. We have 4 inches of concrete here. They didn't put dobies on the bottom. They just pull it up when they're pouring the concrete. So you could do that or you could use dobies, whichever way you prefer. They ended up pulling it up as they're pouring here, as you guys saw. As you can see, they smooth it out first with this wooden one, and then they go over it with the metal one. Ask me why, I don't know, but I can make it up. This seems like it gives a much more rougher texture, but it smooths out the bigger pieces, and then they go over with the metal and they get a much more smooth finish like this. Now we are gonna top cast here, but they still want to get a smooth finish for us. All right guys, so we're wrapping up the stairs right now and the steps. We've learned a lot throughout this process. We've already kind of finished with the back. We're applying top cast, we're finishing everything up. We're gonna reconvene to this video tomorrow. Eddie has become a mute because he's very stressed out and in pain. So I'm gonna let him go so he can stop standing here, and then we'll reconvene tomorrow and go over the finished product and talk about what we've learned throughout this process and how much everything costs. In the meantime, make sure that thumbs up button, and I'll show you guys some footage of the wet concrete that'll look really dope, hopefully. We're here with the completed concrete. The acid wash has been pressure washed off. We have the nice aggregate finish. 90% of the forms are out. Now we just need grass slit, and we need to show you guys what beauty we've created over here. And in the backyard, our floating steps and prices. So let's talk about those in whatever order I decide right now. So the floating steps that I referred to earlier in this video is actually what we have here, which is really called cantilever steps or cantilevers. I'm not sure what the right pronunciation or blah blah it is, but basically what it is, it's a lip that overhangs the base. So we have about a 2-inch depth here that goes in, and underneath here all the way around we're gonna wrap LED lighting. We did a wraparound on this step, we have a lip on that one, and then we have a lip going down the entire walkway. As you guys can see over there, we have a preset pipe that we're gonna run the low voltage wire through. All these lights are going to be connected to a transformer that is going to be set on a dusk till dawn, so these lights will automatically turn on as the sun goes down, and they'll turn off as the sun comes back up in the morning. We have those here. We also have that set in the backyard as well on the steps there. It's a great way to add ambient lighting and to also light up your walkway so that you know where you're walking and you don't trip and fall. Now through this process, through the pour, the pressure wash, everything, we learned a lot of things on this project. One of the things was to think ahead about where the forms are going to come out from and where you're going to have exposed areas so that you can make sure to have smooth finishes there. Unfortunately, we didn't do a good job of that, so there's some areas that are going to be exposed that don't have the best finish, but I've come up with a solution for that, so we're just going to metal clad those. It's an added cost, added labor, added work, but it's the only way to take care of the issue right now, so that's what we're going to do. Let's jump into the backyard and show you guys how we solved the acid wash that didn't do its job by sandblasting. So I'm standing in front of the barbecue where also we had the acid wash disaster. What we ended up doing is sandblasting this. Now I will say that the sandblast finish is not exactly the acid wash, but it's very, very, very similar. Now right next to each other, you can probably notice and tell. I think to anybody that is none the wiser, they'll never know that there was a difference here. But since I know, I could kind of tell the difference, and we'll show you guys right here the two pieces next to each other, one being acid wash and one being sandblasted, and you could kind of see the difference. Now acid wash with the level 3 etch from top cast actually ends up giving you a much rougher finish than the sandblast, but sandblast is a mess. It's loud, it leaves literally sand everywhere. It's impossible to get clean again. It takes a lot of work and energy. I do not recommend it if you do make the mistake of not etching it properly and getting the finish you want. I think it's one of the only solutions to get the same acid wash top cast finish that you're looking to do. So that's what we ended up doing to save some money and not have to demo everything. Like I said, it's just a little bit more work, a little bit more headache, but we got that done. The only thing left to talk about this week is the cost of everything. So let's jump back in front of the house and talk about the cost of everything. We paid $26,000 for all the concrete work. In that $26,000, we're including all the grading, removal of dirt, and removal of trash as well, because that was all kind of one big price. We had roughly about 2,000 square feet of concrete here. I don't know how many cubic yards, but off the top of my head, we're close to 30 yards of concrete that was poured here. From there, we spent $4,000 on the drain pipe, and we spent $2,500 on the barbecue area. There's a couple more added costs added along the way. I don't know off the top of my head, honestly, guys, and we're coming to our finish line, so everything's really, really, really hectic. But on top of that entire total, there was about $3,000 in additional costs that we incurred. A wall here, stucco here, refix this, do that. It just kind of added up as we went along. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys enjoy this content, and you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. I will be doing a full video with Eddie where we sit down and break the actual cost of everything, including the Home Depot runs and everything else, and all the surprises that came along the way. I mean, some of these things are very crazy. We closed out like, okay, we spent this much on, for example, the kitchen or the flooring or something else, and then the next thing you know, a couple weeks down the line, we realize we have to spend $2,000 more on something, or $500 here, or we have to run to Home Depot and do this. So costs keep fluctuating, but we want to be very transparent with you. We're almost done with this project. I know last week I said the May 9th date. I think at the time of posting this video, I think we're going to be a little bit off, so we're going to have to push it one more week, but we're coming to our finish line. Follow us on Instagram. Thank you guys for all your support. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, notification bell. We'll see you guys next week. Welcome to this week's video where I'm pouring concrete. Oh, damn it. Cálmate, cálmate. I know. I know how to do this. I'm professional. This is how you manage job site. Who's gonna take you seriously with a cane? Eddie, I think we need one more finisher if you want to get down there. And...
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Need a trowel?
Of course, this guy finds another man with a cane. Comparing canes, Eddie's like, oh, I have a big black one. He's like, oh, mine's green. It has more money in it. Look at him. They're comparing canes.